Hey, it's Eli K Atlas, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a bit of a digital inking tutorial on how I ink. It's a bit of a walkthrough, and the model for this tutorial is going to be a photo I did for Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter, and she's also in a band that I forgot the name of at the moment, but this was commissioned by one of her friends and a friend of mine as well, Andrew Pally. Me and him together made Superheroes Can't Fly. I'll have the links to that in the description as well for you guys to check out. Without further ado, let's get into the video. When I'm digitally inking, typically I'm just using it to fill in the blanks and to add certain emphasis on things that I either can't do or that would take me a longer time to do traditionally. So in this case, you can see I'm adding different highlights, white ink to the guitar, the shoes, the pants, and I'm also using black ink to add things like wrinkles, curves, and form to the drawing itself. On her pants, I can adjust the height, adjust the size, and things like that, which I'm doing here, because when I drew the image it took up a lot of space, but I actually needed more space for the background that me and him had planned out, which we based off of a reference photo, but we were going to take some liberties with it. So now I'm adding guitar strings, which is a lot easier digitally than it is traditionally. So I'm just going to use a layer with white, I just call it the white ink layer, and I'm going to have those strings go from the top of the bottom to the bottom of the guitar. So here, and I consider all of this a part of digital inking, I'm kind of going to find a grid, and this is going to be my template for the posters that I'm going to have on the wall behind her, and I'm going to add this in. I'm going to create a patch layer, as I like to call it. It's going to be a layer that's going to be green, kind of like a green screen, and I'm going to attach the grid to that layer, and then I'll use the layer clip option and pretty much just lock the grid into that so that there will be no bleeding and no spillover. Going to create a spotlight, and we're basing this off, as you saw, there was a Batman cover that Andrew, I believe it was Andrew's idea, or was it my idea, to create that layer. So we're going to create lights, a spotlight, and I'm going to be using that with the white ink and the black ink as well. The brush I used to do this in Paint Tool SAI is called the acrylic brush, and I have my own settings that I kind of made for it, and it's going to allow me to create a softer kind of light and a more organic looking brush stroke. Now we're kind of getting into the details of the image. So the Gibson logo on the guitar, because that is the kind of guitar Harley played or plays, and that's what we're basing from the picture that Andrew kind of supplied me with. Still continuing on the spotlights, I'm kind of figuring out how much is too much at this point, which is another reason that I do digital inking these days, to kind of be able to experiment a bit more and achieve different effects. And now we're getting onto that poster patch I was telling you about. So here we are, we're locking the grid, establishing a perspective, and I'm just kind of going for a feel here. There's no particular amount of posters that I need. I'm just kind of looking for what would work. Also based on what the bands are that Andrew told me that she would be interested in. And I took a few liberties as well with certain panels, because there was about like 5 or 6 bands that he listed, but we have maybe about 12 panels here or posters. So along with the bands that she likes, I also included some bands that I like, Wolf Alice for example. I included our Superheroes Can't Fly cover into the background, so things like that were pretty much Easter eggs, and the rest were all bands and stuff that she likes. Inking digitally like this also gives me a chance, it's not even really necessarily to trace, but I can kind of go over things and I can play with things a bit more. And that's pretty much all for this video. Hopefully you guys found it a little bit more insightful into my process of how I ink digitally. Hopefully you guys found the video entertaining and educational. Hopefully you guys can incorporate some of the techniques and tips that I use into your drawing process and repertoire of skills. Thank you guys for watching. As always, leave comments, suggestions for more topics and things like that for me to do on this channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching. I shall see you later.
Salam, smit mi som je? faire rodéo.